In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating the creation of the tables in Athena, like we did in the lab on Tuesday. So to begin, I'm going to navigate to the course in Canvas, and the announcements, and the lab GitHub. And so here's the link to the GitHub repository. You can download it with this green clone or download button. I'm going to download the zip file. It'll download. You may need to unzip this if you're not on a Mac, but whenever you unzip and open the folder, you'll see a number of files in here. We're going to come back to these. So now, go ahead and log in to aws.amazon.com. You should see a My Account in the Management Console or a Sign Into the Console. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the Management Console. It may ask you to sign in. Once you do, you should see this view right here. To start, I'm going to S3. So if you don't see it here at the top, you can just type the name in here and click S3. Whenever you log in, you will not see any buckets. You will just have the option to create a new bucket. So I will demonstrate doing that. So I'm going to create a new bucket. This name has to be unique, so you will probably need to enter something like OU, your last name, and then maybe bucket, something like that. We are going to put this in US West right here. You may already have yours in US West. You saw mine selected to US East. So just click region, make sure it's US West, Oregon, click create here in the bottom left. So now that that's created, I'm going to click into my bucket, and now I have no folders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at those files I downloaded here from GitHub. So I see in the dimensions folder I have 4 files: countries, event codes, groups, and types. So I'm going to create a folder for each of those here. So I'm going to go to create folder, countries, save, create folder, event codes, save, create folder groups, and create folder types. Alright, now that I have these 4 folders, I'm going to click into countries, and I'm going to click this upload button. And you'll notice, because I'm not using Chrome or Firefox, I cannot drag and drop my files, which is very convenient. So I'm going to navigate in here myself to dimensions, to countries, and upload it here in the bottom left. Navigate back, do the same for event codes, upload, groups, upload, and then types. I will upload this. Alright, so now my files are uploaded, so I'm ready. So I've got all the data I need in S3. So what I usually do, because I tend to forget the names of things, is I'm going to just open a new tab, aws.amazon.com, and sign into the console here. And now I'm going to go to Athena. So I can type Athena here in the search bar, click it, and in your case, you'll probably see a get started or something like that. Once you do that, you'll see this view. I'm going to click anywhere in here to clear out the text, and you see I get a blank editor. So to begin now, I'm going to open this create_tables.sql. So whenever you open this, if you're on Windows, it'll probably ask how you want to open it. You can select Notepad. Notepad will work fine. You have to enter one of these at a time. So you can enter this first command here, create databases, gdelt. So in this case, I'm going to run it. And you'll see I'll actually get an error because I already have a gdelt database here. That's fine. You shouldn't get an error if you don't already have one. So you can move on to the next query here, and so you can just copy and paste this query as it is. You don't need to make any changes to it. So I'm going to create a table in my GDELT database called GDELT events. It's an external table, and you can see here it is stored in a public S3 bucket that we didn't create or upload. So I'm going to run this query. I'm going to run it again. And it was successful, and now you should see a table called events in your GDELT database. If you don't see any tables, you probably need to click this drop down under database and select GDELT. You'll see you'll have a default, a sample, and a GDELT. You'll probably only have one table in here called events. If you click this ellipsis next to it, you can select preview table, and that'll show you the data that got loaded, and you can see your data should look something like this. You can scroll over and see all the different columns that have gotten loaded. All right, that's one table. We need to create the rest of these tables. So now I'm going to create event codes. So I'm going to copy and paste the next query here. And we have to make one small change here, and you have to delete out this your bucket under location S3, and you have to put in the name of the bucket we created. So I created this OU Bruffett bucket earlier in the exercise. So I'm going to just copy it. And copy the name here, go back to Athena, copy it in, just like that. So yours should look exactly the same as this, but under location, you'll have S3:/ the bucket name that we just created, and event codes. Now, if you did anything like named these subfolders capital uppercase, like capital C countries, capital E event codes, they have to match. So this will have to look exactly the same as the folder you created, including case sensitivity. So this is case sensitive. If you make a mistake with one of your tables, you will have to actually run the drop table event codes before making a change to it. So I can drop the table and I can recreate it. I'm actually just going to go here in my history. You can see all the queries that you've run. I'm going to rerun this query right here to recreate the event codes table. You can see here, refresh, there it is. I can do the ellipsis, preview the table. So you just need to continue to do that for each of these tables, creating all of the external tables. Once you've done that, you can see the sample queries that we ran in the lab here under queries.sql. So you can just copy and paste the first of these queries, run it, and it should work against your tables, and you'll get some sample results. The only note about these queries is if you're running these, for example, this second query, you will need to change this table name, events parquet, to just events. So we have not created the events parquet table yet. So you'll see here if you run this second, third, and fifth queries, you'll need to change from gdelt.eventsparquet to just gdelt.events, and that'll work. All right, that should be it. If you have any questions about the lab, feel free to send me an email, and I'd be happy to help.